Guys, I want to talk to you about how fast buffalo grass grows from seed. I've done it myself here. That's older. This is younger. I've grown both from seed. One of these sections, the further section, was done in the fall. The closer section was done in the spring. And if you're watching this video, the timing actually matters. The speed that buffalo grass is going to fill in, and I don't know, it's going to start looking like a lawn, is going to matter depending on the time of year that you put the grass seed down. In my opinion, you could probably get away with putting grass seed down, buffalo grass seed down, anywhere between the months of April and September. However, your best times of the year to apply it is probably May, June, and July. Even at the absolute best time of the year, which is what you see right here, just close to me at the bottom of the signpost here, that was planted in May. It's grown through the late part of May and the early part of June. There's almost no stolons whatsoever, and if you look closely, there's still plenty of dirt showing. But if you get a far distance away, take a look at it, it looks pretty much the exact same as everything that I seeded back in September last year. Should note that this area right here was pre-germinated buffalo grass seed. I did a 6-day pre-germination process and put the seed down before I saw the roots sprouting from the seed. Right here where it's thinner, this is where I waited all the way until I saw the roots sprouting from the seed on day 9 or 10 or something like that. Clearly there's a difference in waiting to see the root coming out of the seed when you do a pre-germination. Obviously it can work, but I would do this every single time instead of this. As we look down on this new buffalo grass, this is day 44 from when I started the process. This is day 34 from when it's really started growing, like when you could see the leaves growing on top. You really don't see any stolons yet. I don't want to rip into this with a rake to try to pull any stolons up because everything is still freshly rooted, but the stolons are still not there yet. If, however, you come over to the more established grass, there's a stolon right there. It's super easy to find these things. This stuff was grown from seed starting in September of 2023. So this would be something like month 8 or 9. I regularly have to edge around the sidewalk here because the stolons start growing over the sidewalk. And I'm to the point now where I can grab a rake every now and then, pull stolons up, and cut off sprigs to go put in thin spots if I want to. I do have a test over there of some stolons that I've sprigged into the lawn. That's unrelated to this video. But it is very easy to find stolons all over the ground. Look at that. Even got crabgrass. I got a hand pull of that. One of the main reasons to grow buffalo grass is that it doesn't require very much water or maintenance. You gotta edge it every now and then, but you could leave this as a no-mow scenario, and it's gonna take way less water than everything else. So my Bermuda grass lawn that's over there requires a lot more water than the buffalo grass, especially in these areas where it's trying to spread into, what do I call it, the dead grass that I killed off about a month and a half ago. There is a dry spot right there. You can see it right there. There's a little dry spot in the buffalo grass. Obviously, it is not dormant, nor is it dead, but even though it doesn't take very much water, it does need some water. So I'm going to have to fix a sprinkler head or do some spot watering there to keep everything looking a little bit more uniform. But as you can tell from far away, the fresher, younger buffalo grass looks just about as full and thick as the older stuff that was put in last year. We do have a slight coloring difference between the fresh, young stuff and the older stuff, but I think that's going to blend together over time to the point where you don't even notice the difference at all. Although you can obviously grow buffalo grass from seed in the month of September, because this is what you see right here, I'm not sure if I would advise it to everybody. Maybe some of you guys out there. But it did take some babying, a lot more babying than the new stuff is going to take. After about 6 weeks of growth, it germinated in approximately the same amount of time as the stuff that I germinated in May. Soil temperatures and air temperatures support it at both months of the year for most places that are going to grow buffalo grass. But the thing is, during September and October, day length is way shorter than it is in May, June, and July. Buffalo grass, being a warm season grass that likes full sun, is going to grow its best when it's getting more sunlight, and that would be the late spring and early summer, because the day length is just so much longer. By the time November rolled around and days were super short, this grass right here, even though it's full sun, was starting to go dormant. And throughout the winter or the off season, it actually thinned out quite a bit because it couldn't grow. There wasn't enough sun. Soil temperatures were too cold. We park our car here. We walk on it. It thinned out. So over the course of February and March, it had to recover some of the ground that it had lost during the off season. And obviously it has recovered. It's making stolons. It's filling out. It's thickening up. And it does look better than the new stuff, which is only roughly 6 weeks old. But I've had to fertilize it and do weed kill and pamper it over the course of the last 6-7 months just to get the difference that you see right here. So what you're looking at right here is grass seed that I started pre-germinating on May 8th. I'm going to call that day 0. 6 days later, on May 14th, I spread it on the ground. It's important to note that I pre-germinated the seed. Germination means that we're starting the internal process to get the seed to sprout. Put that pre-germinated seed down on the ground before I started seeing the taproot emerging from the seed. 4 days later, I put a small bit of pre-germinated seed that I had waited for that sprout, or that, I should say, the taproot to start emerging from the seed. I put that down next to the fire hydrant. Obviously, everything on the fire hydrant area has performed significantly poorer than everything that was pre-germinated and put down everywhere else. By May 20, that would be day 12 from when I started the entire seeding process. It's very easy, as you can see here in this image, to see a lot of the young buffalo grass sprouts pretty much everywhere in the seed bed. 12 days later, June 1st rolls around. Everything from relatively far away at this point is notably green. I haven't fertilized it yet. I haven't mowed it yet. I just keep giving it spritzes of water every day, usually in the evening, because at this point, I'm not expecting new grass seed to germinate. I'm just trying to keep the baby grass and the baby root systems hydrated so that they don't die. I want them to continue developing underground. Once a day in the evening works really good for me, and that's what I tell most people to do when they're actually putting grass seed down on bare dirt. Now here we go, day 33. This is June 10th. Remember, this is 33 days from when I started pre-germinating the grass seed, and this is roughly 25 days to 27 days after the grass seed started growing sprouts on the ground, like foliage, green grass on the ground. This is when I first mowed the grass. So basically, I mowed the buffalo grass less than a month after it started growing. But it was day 33 in terms of trying to get the seed to germinate. I used my reel mower because the reel mower cuts like scissors, and I'm able to get it to cut really low to the ground. I cut this at 0.75 inches in height because I don't want any of the leaf tissues to get overgrown. I want to keep an even height on all of the sprouts so that it starts putting energy into tillering and then eventually into stolon growth. June 17th or so, I didn't actually film this, but it was about a week later, I mowed the grass a second time with the same reel mower at the same height, at 0.75 inches. The grass really was starting to grow pretty significantly at this point, so I expect the grass to need to be mowed at least every week, if not twice a week, to maintain the same height. Now here we are. This, while I'm filming the bulk of this video, it is day 44. This is June 21st. The new buffalo grass looks almost exactly like the older buffalo grass at this point, which was seeded last year in September. The only difference is it's slightly less thick, and it has fewer, almost no, long stolons running along the soil surface. That's really the main difference. It also seems to be slightly more dark in color. I think that really just has to do with its age. This time, I'm starting to mow the new grass today and in the future with my standard rotary mower. You have to have a sharp blade if you're going to be mowing it this low on baby grass. So I've got a very sharp blade on my mower, and I'm putting it on the bare bones bottom. In fact, I'm pushing my mower to go lower than it's designed to go. I'm cutting it at approximately 1 inch in height. And then off camera today, I'm going to put down my first major dose of fertilizer to this grass because this is the very first week of summer, and I want to encourage the fastest thickening of this lawn space this time of year, because this is the time of the year that this type of grass likes to grow its best. Early summer, early to midsummer. Just to reiterate, over the past 6 weeks, soil temperatures here where I have lived started climbing from the low 60s when I started the pre-germination process. They got into the low 70s throughout the course of the growth. And over the next 30 days, I expect soil temperatures starting from now to climb from the lower 70s into the upper 70s and possibly the low 80s, depending on how weather is affecting our local area. That means the grass should grow quite vigorously over the next 30 days, especially considering the fact that the soil temperatures are now higher and I'm applying extra nitrogen to the lawn, and I'm going to start mowing this grass, this baby grass, at least every 2, 3, or 4 days. Kind of depends on my own schedule. Regardless, if you're going to be seeding this grass type at the end of summertime or the very, very early part of fall, you can't expect the grass to fill in after 45 to 60 days. Because if you're planting that late, your day length is getting shorter every single day, and soil temperatures are going to start dropping every single day in the fall. And the grass is literally going to slow down no matter how much you push it. Because I planted in May and it's currently late June, I still have at least 3 solid months of growth. So I expect this lawn, this buffalo grass, to really, really take off and be an overwhelming, just a dominant feature in our front yard for the rest of the year and many years to come. Now, with all of that said, if you want to learn more about how to get your grass to spread as fast as possible, watch this video up here in the corner. This is basically what I'm going to be doing for the rest of the summer to get as much thickening and spread as I possibly can right here in this lawn space.